Hello, this is Dr. Mears, and today we are going to be solving rational equations. I'm going to be using LCM as least common multiple. This is going to help us get a common denominator and solve our equations. Here's our examples. It says solve if no solution exists, state this, and we're going to see this happen in a couple equations, so let's move on. Number one, 1/6 plus 1/10 equals 1 over t. What we're going to want to do here first and foremost is find any restrictions on the domain. Because we're dealing with rationals, we do have variables in the denominator. And remember, in the denominator, we can't have it be 0. Once it's 0, that means it's undefined. So here I have t, and we are going to state that t cannot be 0. So we are just going to state that restriction. If our answer actually came out to be 0, then we would see that no solution existed. All right, next what we're going to do is we're going to find a least common multiple. And so here we have 6, 10, and t. So what can we divide all three of these things by? Well, I'm just going to multiply 6 times 10 times t. So my least common multiple, I'm going to call it 60t. Sometimes this is really easy just to multiply everything all at once. And then what we're going to do with that is we're going to multiply everything by 60t. And so that means for this, I am going to have to distribute, and then this one I'm just going to multiply. And when we do that, we're going to see all of my fractions are going to be crossed out, and that's going to make for a much better equation to solve. So remember, 60t is really over 1. I'm going to multiply everything out. If you can simplify in your head, that's great, but I'm going to show each and every step here, especially because we're learning it for the first time. So 60t times 1 is 60t divided by 1 times 6 is 6 plus 60t times 1 is 60t divided by 1 times 10 is 10. That equals, this is really over 1, 60 times t is 60t, 1 times 60t, and t times 1 is t. Now what I'm going to do is reduce. 60 divided by 6 is 10t plus 60t divided by 10 is 6t equals, the t's cross out, 60. Now I can combine like terms. Look how much better that is than trying to solve that first equation that we have. So now I'm going to combine like terms, move up here for some room. I get 16t equals 60, divide both sides by 16. T equals 60 over 16. I'm just going to reduce that to 15 over 4. Now that's my answer, t equals 15 over 4. So if I put that in here, both sides would be equal. But let's just check against my restriction. My restriction was that it can't be 0. It's not 0, so it does have a solution, and that is my answer. Okay, number 2. 1/2 plus 2 over x equals 3 over 2x. First, let's state the restriction on the domain. We know here x can't equal 0, and here 2x can't equal 0. And if we divide by 2, we'll see x can't equal 0. And x can't equal 0 here, so this satisfies both of these. We don't have to write this restriction twice. We know x can't be 0 here, and x can't be 0 here. So you only have to write it once. All right, then let's find our least common multiple. We have 2 times x, which is 2x. So my least common multiple is 2x. We don't have to multiply all of these all of the time. Because these were different, this was 6, this was 10, and this was t, we had to multiply them. But because this is 2x, and 2x is 2 times x, we can stick with that as our least common multiple. So we're going to multiply everything by 2x. And remember, that is really over 1. I'm going to have to distribute 2x over 1. Okay, so let's multiply here. Again, if you can see that the 2's cross out and you're left with x here, that's fine. I am going to multiply everything out though so you can see what it looks like. So this is going to be 2x, 2 times 1, 2x times 1, over 2 plus 2x times 2 is 4x, 1 times x is x, equals 3 times 2x is 6x, 2x times 1 is 2x. Now I'm going to reduce. This is my favorite part because I get to cross out. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so x plus x is cross out. 4 equals x is cross out, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. Ooh, nice easy equation. Let's subtract 4 from both sides. X equals -1. I'm just going to rewrite that over here. X equals -1. Here's my answer. Let's go back and check our restrictions. It's not 0. So this is our solution, and we move on. Perfect. Okay, let's go to number 3. All right, number 3, a divided by 7 minus 7 divided by a equals 0. All right, so first, restrictions. We have a in the denominator, so a cannot be 0. Okay, next, least common multiple, 7 times a, which is 7a. Let's multiply everything by 7a. That's really over 1 by 7a. Okay, so here we're going to get 7a, so this is going to be 7a squared. So be careful, a times a is a squared over 7, minus 7a times 7, 49a over a, equals 0 times 7a is 0. All right, let's reduce. 7's cancel out, so we have a squared. A's cancel out, minus 49 equals 0. Now, hopefully you're noticing, wait a minute, we've been factoring a lot, and this looks like we have to factor it. You could go one of two ways with doing this type of example. You could factor, and when we factor, we're going to get a plus 7 times a minus 7 equals 0, and then split them up. A plus 7 equals 0, a minus 7 equals 0. So a equals negative 7, and a equals positive 7. And checking these, neither of them are 0, so we see that these are our answers. Or you could simply solve it by adding 49 to both sides. So here we can add 49. We get a squared equals 49, and then we can take the square root. Just when you take the square root, a equals a positive 7 and a equals negative 7, because 7 times 7 is 49. Negative 7 times negative 7 is also positive 49. So you see that we do get the same answers, but different way. This is by taking the square root, let's call that, or you can factor. Either way works. Checking it against our restriction, we're fine. So either way that you want to do it is absolutely fine. Okay, let's look at number 4. V minus 4 divided by V plus 6 equals 1/3. First restriction, V plus 6, because it's in the denominator, cannot equal 0. So that's minus 6 from both sides. So V cannot equal negative 6. Okay, for this one, we don't have to have a least common multiple because we don't have two terms being subtracted or two terms being added. What we have is we have one term on this side, one term on this side. So what we could do here is we can actually cross multiply everybody. These are nice. I like these. And when we cross multiply, this is what it's going to look like. 3 times v minus 4 equals 1 times v plus 6. And I put it in parentheses because you have to be careful because you do have to distribute. Okay, so just be careful when you're dealing with the v minus 4 term plus or minus another term. So this is going to be 3v minus 12 equals, distributing the 1, v plus 6. And now I solve. Subtract v from both sides. 2v minus 12 equals 6. Let's add 12. I'm going to bring it up over here. So these cross out. So 2v equals 6 plus 12 is 18. 18, 2v equals 18. Just to show you right here how I added. Divide both sides by 2, and v equals 9. Perfect, okay. So let's check this against the restriction. The restriction is that it can't be negative 6. Perfect. All right, well, it's 9, so we definitely have a solution. And so we're good to go with that. I am going to check it, though, because we haven't checked the other ones. So if you do want to check, I always like to check my work. I get nervous that it's wrong. If you do want to check, then we just substitute and check it. So we're going to take v minus 4 over v plus 6 equals 1/3, and we're going to substitute the 9. Let's see if it actually works. So here we go. We're going to do 9 minus 4 divided by 9 plus 6. That should equal, we're going to check it, 1/3. All right, 9 minus 4 is 5. 9 plus 6 is 15. 5 over 15 does reduce to 1/3. So we're right. Perfect. Okay. So I just wanted to show you that is one way that you can check. We could check all of these if you wanted. So, you can always check your answer. But for now, let's move on. We have x over 2 equals 18 over x. All right, so first let's state the restriction. Here we have x. We know that can't be equal to 0. Now for this one, again, we have a term on this side and a term on this side. So we could, again, cross multiply. Okay, so we have x times x. That gives us x squared. 2 times 18, that equals 36. And if you wanted to solve by using the square root method, you're most welcome to do so because we're right at this step right here. So we're at that step. So we could just take the square root, x equals positive 6 and x equals negative 6. But let's check up here. What did we say? X can't be negative 6. So we're going to cross this one out. So the only solution we have is x is positive 6 because we know it can't be negative 6. So we cross that out. We don't say that's not a solution. Nope. And we're good to go. Now, if you wanted to do it the factoring way, just a little side note here. If you said, I really like to do it the factoring way, whoops, you could. So what you would do is you would just subtract 36 from both sides. X squared minus 36 equals 0. And then we come out with x plus 6, x minus 6. And when you split them, you get x equals negative 6 and x equals positive 6. We know that can't be an answer. So x equals 6. So you could do it the factoring way. I think right now that one's much easier to do for us, but either way that you want to think about it, you're more than welcome to. Okay, let's try a few more for good measure. If you want to try number 6 on your own, you're more than welcome to pause the video and then come back because it is one that we've been doing before. Notice we can't cross multiply because we have two terms here, one term minus another term. So if it looked like that, we could cross multiply. Do you see the difference? We cannot cross multiply. We would be able to. So just be careful. So first, we have to state the restriction. So x can't be 0. Then let's find a least common multiple. Let's see, 3x, and I'm just going to do, let's see, well, 3x times 5 equals 15x. And we can divide 15 by 15x, 3x. So we can divide all of these by our least common multiple. So hopefully you're catching on about what our least common multiple is. Each one of these terms have to be able to be divided by our least common multiple. That's why we find it, so that we can cross out these fractions, these denominators. All right, so we're going to take our least common multiple, 15x over 1, 15x over 1. And now here, if you could say, all right, when I multiply by here, the 15s are going to cross out, so I have 12x left. You could do that. You're more than welcome to do that. Again, you can skip that step. I'm going to do this, 15x times 12 over 15. That's what I'm really doing here. Minus 15x over 3x equals 4 times 15. Notice, I didn't multiply anything out because here, this is what we're doing. I'm not going to multiply that to be 60. I don't have to because I automatically know the 15s are going to cross out and I'm going to have 12x left. Here, minus 15 divided by 3 is 5. My x is crossed out. Equals here, that reduces to 1, and this is 3, and I'm left with 12. And I forgot my little x, everybody. Thank you. I'm left with 12x. So I didn't have to multiply everything out and then divide everything again. I really just simply wrote it down and then just reduced. Don't forget, I forgot my little x here. Please write your little x in here. Okay, now, no more fractions. Yay! Let's subtract 12x from both sides. Minus 12x minus 12x. We get negative 5 equals 12x minus 12x is 0. Uh-oh, what happened? We lost our variable. That's it, our variable dropped out. And you ask ourselves, does negative 5 equal 0? And you go, no. That means there's no solution. And that's it. You stop. So if this happens, this situation happens to you, this can't happen, which means there's no solution to this. And you move on. Okay, number 7. T plus 6 over t equals negative 5. All right, so for this one, what I'm going to do is I am going to be putting t over 1. I'm just going to make everything into a fraction. And number 1, so now that I have all my fractions, I definitely feel more comfortable. Number 1, the restriction, t here can't be 0. All right, my least common multiple, put 5 over 1 as well, is going to be t. So let's just multiply everything by t. T over 1, t. All right, here, t squared, I'm going to move it up a little bit. T squared over 1 plus 6t over t equals negative 5t over 1. So I just multiply t times t is t squared, 1 times 1 is 1, t times 6 is 6t, 1 times t is t. You get the gist. All right, t squared divided by 1 is just t squared. These cross out. I get plus 6 equals negative 5t. And now I have to solve. What I'm going to do here, I see t squared, I see a negative 5t on this side, I see plus 6. This looks like something I might need to factor. So I'm going to move my 5t over so that the equation is set equal to 0. And I'm going to rewrite it up here so I have more room. So I'm going to rewrite t squared plus 5t plus 6. I'm going to rewrite it in standard form where the exponents are decreasing. Once I do that, hopefully you're seeing that I can factor this. And that's one of the reasons why we spent so much time on factoring. So what two terms multiply to 6 and add to 5? 3 times 2 is 6. Positive 3 plus positive 2. Here's my t. So now I factored it. After I factor, what can I do? I can solve. T plus 3 equals 0. T plus 2 equals 0. And this is why we learned how to solve. So t equals negative 3 and t equals negative 2. And now we have to go back to make sure to check our restriction. It can't be 0. So t minus 3 is fine. T plus 2 is fine. And we're all set. And if you wanted, you could substitute each one of these into the original equation to check to see if it works. I'm not going to do that right now. My video is running a little bit longer than I would like. So let's move on to number 8. All right, so number 8. Ooh, what do you notice? I have a term on this side and a term on this side. I don't have anything added or subtracted. It doesn't look like this, where we have two terms and they're being added. You're right, I can cross multiply here, which is really nice. So I'm going to cross multiply here, and I'm going to cross multiply here. All right, so we're going to have 4 times a minus 8 equals 8 minus a times 4 minus a. And notice everybody got parentheses because we have some multiplication to do here. This is a little bit longer one, so here I'm going to distribute 4a minus 32 equals here 32, 8 times 4 minus 8a, 8's done, negative 4a plus a squared. I see I have some like terms over here that I can combine. So 4a minus 32 equals 32 minus 12a plus a squared. All right, now let's get it so that we have something that looks like this where it's set equal to 0. So you are sometimes going to have to set it equal to 0. Oh, what did I also forget? I forgot my restrictions. So, we'll come back to the restrictions. I left myself a note. I totally just jumped into this problem. My bad, everybody. I was like, oh, let's do this one. All right. So let's set everything equal to 0. Because there's less terms on this side, I'm just going to bring everything over. So I'm going to add 32. So 4a equals, I'm going to rewrite this where a squared's in front, and then minus 12a, and then plus 32, and 32 is 64. So I just wrote that down there. I want it so it's decreasing so that it looks like this because I have a feeling we're going to need to factor this one. And let's subtract 4a minus 4a minus 4a. That crosses out. I'm going to rewrite it over here. So here, this is 0. So 0 equals a squared minus 16a. I got that here, minus 16a, plus 64. Oh, I could definitely factor that because I can do what multiplies to 64 and adds to negative 8, a minus 8, and a minus 8. Because negative 8 times negative 8 is positive 64. Negative 8 plus negative 8 is negative 16. I could split these up. Oops. I can split these up, but as you can see, they're the same, correct? So I only have to do it once. You don't have to write, if you want to write it twice, you can, but it just means that there's a double root. That's what this is called, double root. You only have to write it down once. But this is 8. You know what? Let's go back because we didn't do restrictions. So I'm curious to see if this is actually an answer. So now it's a mystery. So let's go back and do my restrictions. And I'm just going to make a little box here to kind of keep myself neat. All right, so my first restriction is 8 minus a can't equal 0. Ooh, okay. So negative a can't equal negative 8. I just subtracted. Dividing by negative 1, negative 1, negative 1. A can't be 8. Oh, look at that. What happened? A can't be 8. What do I have here? I have actually a double root at 8. And here it says it can't be. So because my first restriction that I did, it says it can't be 8. So that means this has, you're right, everybody, no solution. Wah, wah. This isn't it. My second restriction is a minus 8 equals 0. Can't equal 0. So here, my second restriction is that it can't equal 8 either. So either one you did first, you're gonna say that there's no solution to this problem. All right, and my last one, because we got a little crowded and I just want to keep all my work together. Here we go. Okay. Hopefully, I think this one's hopefully we'll have a solution. We'll see. But do you see why your restrictions are so important here? Because it does check to see, this is where the graph's not going to cross. And if it's saying, hey, it crosses here, we're like, it's not going to cross. So that's why that we have to make sure we check our restrictions. So for this one, let's check our restrictions. I'm going to choose, I always like to choose this denominator here to check the restriction. So number 1, x squared minus 6x can't equal 0. If I factor this, I can take out a greatest common factor. Whoops. And so my greatest common factor is x, and what I have left is x minus 6. So if I split these, x can't be 0, and x minus 6 can't be 0, so x can't be positive 6 as I add it to both sides. And this one, you would get the same thing. If you set this not equal to 0, you would get the same thing here. So I don't have to do that one because we already took care of it. So here are my 2 restrictions. Let's see what happens. Okay, I can cross multiply here because I have a term on this side and a term on that side. So I can cross multiply here, and I can cross multiply here. Okay. Actually, do I want to cross multiply? Because if I did find my least common multiple, that might cancel everything out. You know what? Let's go with, you could cross multiply, and if you want to pause this video and cross multiply to see what happens, but I just think you're getting into a lot of work because look at this piece here. when we factored, part of that factor was this. So our least common multiple could actually be x times x minus 6, because that's already here. So let's rewrite this. X divided by x minus 6 equals 36 divided by x minus 6. I just factored that and I just rewrote it. So if I have a least common multiple of x times x minus 6, that's what I'm multiplying here over 1. And that's what I'm multiplying. I'm multiplying x times x minus 6 over 1. Okay, so let's do some crossing out. Here it crosses out x minus 6 and x minus 6. So I have x times x, which is x squared left. Here it crosses out. That crosses out. So much better than multiplying. That and that cross out, so I have equals 36. Look at this. I can take the square root. You could factor if you want, but I'm just going to take the square root. So x is going to be a positive 6 and a negative 6. All right, this number's coming up a lot. So let's see. Here's my solutions. Let's see what it can't be. It can't be 0. All right, we don't have 0. It can't be positive 6, so it can't be this. So that's a no. So my only answer here is x equals negative 6. Great. Now, you could have cross multiplied, but I did. I stopped myself because I'm like, like we'd be like x cubed. And so I was just, when we factored this, that triggered something where I was like, I might be able just to use that as my least common multiple and cross things out without having to multiply. There's more than one way of doing this, everyone. Whichever way that you find is easiest for you to think through, please use it. I hope this video helped. It's been solving rational equations. Thank you.